Well, after playing to a 3-3 tie last Friday, Oakville and the Toronto Patriots had the rubber match the very next day, and it was a doozy. More on that later in the show. This is the OJ Today. Hey folks, I'm Alex Bastiavansky. On this week's show, we'll have a feature story on the Stouffville Spirit, a squad that got off to a horrific start this year, but have played much better since, and we'll find out what's been working for them. Also, Kingston's Anthony Rinaldi has been near the top of the scoring race all year, and we'll have a feature story on the Quebec-born sniper. But first, let's get to the Gong Show Gear game highlights. Rinaldi and his Kingston mates were in Burlington last Friday to take on the red-hot Cougars, who had won 6 of 7, and they kept their strong play going against the Vs. OJ game highlights brought to you, of course, by Gong Show Gear. Gong Show Gear, lifestyle hockey apparel, official sponsor of the Ontario Junior Hockey League. The Cougars were hot, but Kingston had won 5 of its last 6 going into this one, so two surging teams. Burlington draw first blood, 11:25 in. Zach Herman hammers a slapper past David Richer to make it a 1-zip Cougars game, but Kingston knots it up just 2 minutes later. Some nice puck movement. Connor Bebb is parked at the side of the net, and he redirects the point shot home, and it's a 1-1 hockey game. On to the second period we go, and the Cougars nearly grab the lead back 2-on-1. Chris Cobham misses the original shot. Jordan Peacock tries to tuck it in, but Richer gets down in time to make the stop. He's not stopping this one, though. 16:34 mark. David Thompson one-times the pass to beat Richer, and the Cougars go up by a 2-1 count. 2 minutes later, it's the big man, Jordan Peacock. Don't blink or you'll miss it. Oh, what a shot, just under the bar, and the Cougs pad their lead to 3-1. Just before the buzzer, the Vs come oh so close. Brandon Nadeau and Anthony Rinaldi 2-on-1, but Andrew Lee just gets a piece of it to deny the OJ's leading score. Great save. Third period, Kingston gets back in it. Mason Corliss with the sweet behind-the-back pass to Cole Langfeld, who tucks it home. 3-2 for the Cougars now. And then B-Town gets a bit too cute as Mike Falero plays a bit of handball to knock it in. Wrong sport, and I love this reaction. He's like, who? Me? What? I didn't do anything. No matter. The Cougars would seal the deal soon after. Thompson rings it off the iron, but then seconds later, Willie Paul with the point shot. Kevin DiMagno with the redirect. That makes it 4-2 Burlington, which is exactly how it ends up. That is a huge win for the Cats, who actually only suffered 2 losses for the entire month of November. They're in a dogfight with Georgetown and Orangeville for second in the West. Speaking of Orangeville, what a nice segue. They hosted the JRCs last Friday, picking up the action with the Flyers leading 1-zip, but scrambling in their own end. Mike Gonzalez finishes in style for Toronto, and it's a 1-1 hockey game. And then Lucas Colalio gets sprung on the break here. He bulges the twine, and it's 2-1 for Le Bleu, Blanc et Rouge. Second frame, they pad their lead on the power play. Casimir Kroll can't control the shot here, and Andrew Pucci on the doorstep makes him pay, and Toronto goes back up by a deuce. In the third, the Flyers claw back somewhat as they pounce on the Canadians' miscue. Smilski picks their pocket, feeds James McLaughlin. The Dartmouth commit goes Roof Daddy to cut the lead to 3-2. But with 8:11 remaining, Toronto shuts the door for good. Big D-man Andrew Mullen shows off some nice hands on the great solo effort. His wrister beats Kroll, and that was all she wrote in this one. 2 big points for the junior Canadians, because they'd actually go on to drop their other 2 games that weekend to the Patriots and Royals. So 2 important points in this one to keep pace with Oakville for top spot in the South. Well, the Buffalo Junior Sabres have been back and forth with the Georgetown Raiders for top spot in the West all season. One area this team definitely isn't lacking is on offense. The Sabres have scored 129 goals this year, far and away the most in the league. They spanked Mississauga 11-4 last Wednesday and kept the hot sticks going against Pickering on Friday. The Panthers had actually lost 6 straight heading into this one, and the Sabres added to their misery. First period, Michael Benequist Jr. just wheels and fires, catches Troy Paquette off guard for a bit of a softie. Take another look here. Just looks like Paquette wasn't expecting the shot. The Sabres go up 1-0. Just over a minute later, though, the Cats even things up. John Hudgen denied on the original shot. Mackenzie Heber on the follow-up fires it through the crowd in front. Sabres keeper Tucker Wepner on his backside. Unfortunately, no chance on that one. So it was all knotted up at 1 heading into the second until Griffin Lund lowers the boom from just inside the blue line. You won't see too many better shots than this one. Beauty. Knocks the water bottle off the top shelf, too, for good measure. 3 minutes later, though, the Cats knot things up on the PP. Wepner makes the original stop, but Hudgen is there to clean up the garbage, and it's 2-2. But it was all Buffalo in the third period. First, it's Wilson Verche with the wicked point shot that Troy Paquette can only wave at. Just Verche's second of the year, but it is a dandy. And then Tim Nixick on the 2-on-1 takes the feed and goes 5-hole on Paquette to make it 4-2. Nixick would add an empty netter as well to seal the deal. 5-2 Buffalo is your final, as the Sabres now have a 5-point bulge on the Georgetown Raiders for first place in the West Division. Okay, OJ trivia for this week, and your question is, what NCAA school has Orangeville Flyers forward James McLaughlin committed to? Which school? I mentioned it earlier. If you don't know, head to ojhl.ca. You can win 2 tickets to a game at the 2015 upcoming World Junior A Challenge in Coburg and Whitby, December 13th to 19th. Email Isaac Westgate, that's iwestgate at the ojhl.ca. First person to email in the correct answer wins the prize. Welcome back. Last Saturday saw one of the most entertaining games of the season so far as Coburg traveled west to take on Georgetown. Things were looking great for the Raiders for roughly half the game, but then the Cougars woke up. Things started off so well for the Raiders in this one, but then they turned in a hurry. First period, all was great. 5:26 in.
Cougars is Roy. Guys, it turns over now. Chance for the Raiders. It's Jacome to Crocker. It's Jacome back to Crocker. He scores. Tic-tac-toe. It's in the net. What a play by Georgetown.
Oh, just gorgeous passing. And then late in the period on the power play, Double J, Jack Jacome at the side of the net tucks it in to put the home squad up by a deuce. And then just 14 seconds later, still on the power play, Michael Boucher slides it past Tyler Lewis. And it's a dream start for the Raiders, up 3-0 at the end of the first period. In the second, it looked like the onslaught would continue. Nice puck movement by Georgetown. Bailey Malella hammers home the one-timer, and it was 4-0 for the home squad, looking good. But then it was like Coburg flipped the switch. First, it's Mac Lowry finding a sliver of daylight glove side on Andrew Masters, and the lead is cut to 3. And then just before the buzzer, Liam Grand with the huge solo effort splits the wickets on Masters, and suddenly it's a whole different game. Cougars trailed by 2. They keep up the momentum in the third. Everyone ignores Brendan Locke at the side of the net. He jumps all over it, and now it's just 4-3 for the Raiders. Then 8 minutes later, Brennan Roy with the howitzer from the point beats Masters, and the Raiders don't know what hit them. They're all knotted up at 4, and less than a minute later, Matt Gorey completes the comeback with an almost identical shot. Incredible. 5-4 Cougars. In the dying seconds, Tyler Lewis saves the best for last.
Brendan Jacome. Back to Joe. He moves up. He shoots. There's a rebound. Oh, what a save by Lewis. He robbed Brendan Jacome with the glove. Oh, baby. What a save by Tyler Lewis to preserve the come from behind victory down.
That might be the save of the year. What a comeback by Coburg, who looked down and out behind 4-0 just past the midway point of the game. The Raiders are left shaking their heads as they let 2 points slip away. Okay, Stouffville had won 5 of 7 as they traveled to Aurora last Friday. After a scoreless first period, Aurora gets things going in the second. Darren Ely taps home the Alex Fermenton point shot, and the Cats lead 1-0. And it was teddy bear toss night in Aurora as the fans celebrate the goal by littering the ice with a variety of furry little creatures. 11 minutes later, Tigers on the power play. Spencer Herbst brings the heat as he beats Aaron Taylor with a monster shot. Aurora up by a deuce. It stayed that way into the third period. Stouffville cut the lead in half, 5:27 in, as the rubber takes a funny bounce to Stefan Palatzidis, who scores, and it's a 2-1 hockey game. Just 2 minutes later, though, the Tigers close the door for good. Kyle Locke just turns and fires it on goal. Never a bad idea. That makes it 3-1 Aurora, and that is how this one finishes up. Big weekend for the Tigers as they also dropped Milton by a converted touchdown plus a field goal. Yes, 10-0, and they're currently tied with Markham for first in the North. The Oakville Blades were riding a 3-game win streak heading into last weekend. Friday, they played their division rivals, the Toronto Patriots, to a 3-3 stalemate. Saturday was the rubber match of the home-and-home, and once again, the teams took it to OT. The Blades were on a 4-game unbeaten streak heading into their second game in 2 days against the Pats. We pick up the action in the second frame, Blades leading by 1. How happy are the Patriots to have Nick Ursitti back from injury? Yeah, pretty happy. His 9th of the season ties the game at 1. Just over 2 minutes later, Luis Di Matteo's shot sounds like it goes off the stick of Nicholas Alvaro. End result is it beats Michael Botiz and the Pats go up by 1. But then it's Drew Worrad going to work. The Clarkson commit goes top shelf on Jacob Standen, and they're all tied up at 2 apiece. The teams traded goals in the third, so it was off to OT where Patrick Kudla does it again for the Blades. The Arizona State commit dances through the Patriots, nets the game winner. Hey, if you're going to win it in overtime, do it in style. Gorgeous play. 4-3 Blades is your final. Kudla is now tied for 7th in league scoring, and get this, he's the only defenseman in the top 30 overall scorers. It's been incredible for the Blades all year, and he wins it for them on this day. Okay, the World Junior Championship selection camp was announced. 4 former OJ players are on it. Travis Dermott of the Erie Otters, who played with the Hurricanes, Mitch Marner of London, who played with St. Mike's, Jake Wallman of Providence College, he played with the Junior Canadians, and Michael Del Cole of the Oshawa Generals, who also played with St. Mike's. Congratulations to all 4 players. Let's take a look at the OJ standings, starting, of course, in the North Division. Markham and Aurora tied now with 37 points apiece. Newmarket in third. In the East, Trenton, what an incredible season so far. Again, only 2 regulation losses all season. Kingston in second place there. In the South Division, Oakville 1 point up on the Junior Canadians, with North York sitting in third place. And in the West, Buffalo now up on the Raiders by 5 points, but Georgetown has played 4 fewer games, so they will be able to make that up possibly. Our alumni update for this week. Andrew Poturalski named Hockey East Player of the Month. Kevin Entman named NCHA Defensive Player of the Week. Paul Barafado named Atlantic Hockey Goalie of the Week. Emerson Verrier named NESCAC Player of the Week. Jason Popek named SPHL Player of the Week. And Stephen Racine of Michigan named Big Ten Second Star. OJ commitments to tell you about, and there were 2 big ones last week. Josh Kosak of Oakville commits to Union for the 2017-18 season, and Luke Keenan of Whitby commits to Princeton for that same season. Congratulations, guys, on your NCAA commitments.
This year, the World Junior A Challenge celebrates 10 years with its first trip to Ontario. Will you be in Cobourg and Whitby when the puck drops? From December 13th to 19th, Canada East and Canada West face off with the Czech Republic, Russia, Switzerland, and the United States in the chase for gold. Ticket packages are on sale now, so visit hockeycanada.ca/WJAC today.
Welcome back. Anthony Rinaldi has taken the OJ by storm this year. It's his first season in the league, and he's been right up near the top of the scoring race since day one. We find out more now about what makes the Kingston forward such a dangerous player. Game in, game out. Anthony Rinaldi has been everything and more the Kingston Voyageurs could have hoped for this year. A native of Pierrefonds, Quebec, the forward played last season for Nanaimo in the BCHL. It was a chance encounter with Voyageurs staff at last summer's Chowder Cup in Boston that led to his arrival in the Limestone City.
In the semifinal game, I ended up playing against Taurine White and Pete Goulet, who's our general manager this year. They saw me play during that tournament, and it ended up being the reason why I ended up coming here. They made a trade for myself and Hanlon and another player from Kingston last year.
We played them in the semifinals. The team that Peter and Peter and I were coaching, and Anthony's team spanked us 5-0, and he had 2 or 3 points. That was the first time I saw Anthony Rinaldi. Looked at Peter and said, "You got to figure out where this kid is, and we got to get him." We're very lucky, very fortunate, and we're very happy to have Anthony.
Happy is a bit of an understatement. Rinaldi leads the OJ in overall scoring and has a 6-goal bulge over the next closest player. He gets it done by playing a complete game.
He just brings a lot of offense to the game. He's really quick with the puck. He just basically creates his own offense for himself. And, he's got good line mates as well. But, when you have that many chances a game, he's going to find the back of the net, which is good. So he's brought a lot of points for us, and it's an all around. It's great that we have him.
I just try to buy into the systems and try to be as offensive as I could be and play my D zone. Try to be a two-way player. If my team needs goals, I'll do whatever it takes to try to get a goal. If my team needs some energy, I'll do whatever it takes to build energy for the team. I'm loving Kingston right now. My billet family is tremendous. The organization is unbelievable. They're treating me very nice here. The team as well. I like my teammates. It's a lot of fun when you're winning, for sure. We have a lot of success, and that's all I could ask for.
This is a young man who's very, very driven, very focused, and has set some very high goals for himself. I know he leads the league in goals for, but if you were to watch him practice, there's no surprise that he leads this league this year.
He's out on the first power play unit. Here's the chance, moving in. Shoots, he scores! Rinaldi short-handed.
Yeah, like you said, he's got that 6th gear that not many players have in the league. He just blows by some defensemen. He likes to take it to the net and sneak it 5-hole, which has been working for him a lot this season. But it definitely helps when you can just basically walk by the defenseman and get yourself a breakaway every time.
I think Anthony's around 6 foot, and he has a great stride. So it almost looks a little bit of a deceptive speed, but once he has open ice, he's gone.
I think it's just mostly buying into the systems. Being in the right places that the coach wants me to be in, and I trained really hard this summer. I try to work on my hands as much as possible, and it's doing well for me thus far.
Coach Torian White gave Rinaldi an A this year, and he's definitely showing his leadership.
There's certain things that the guys just know not to do because Anthony will let you know. So one, for example, would be, every time the jerseys are hung up, they have to be lined up in a certain way, straight, or Anthony's going to get right in your face and let you know. That's just the kind of guy he is. So he demands perfection from his teammates, and he knows that he will lead by example.
Well, I was given an assistant captain role this year, and I do think I'm a leader, and I try my best to support the guys and be as much as a leader as I can be.
Oh, he's a funny guy off the ice. We all like to joke around, but he's serious during the game. But outside of that, everybody on our team is pretty laid back. We crack jokes. He's a French guy, so what do you expect, right?
Long term, the 20-year-old has his sights fixed on taking his game south of the border while furthering his education.
Well, I plan on playing in the NCAA Division I next year, and I have not decided where I want to go thus far, but I'm still trying to play my best and succeed on the ice, and we'll see where that leads me.
Okay, one more game to show you this week. Milton got destroyed by Markham. There's no other way to put it, but they actually led for a bit, tied 1-1 in the first. Andrew Petrucci, this one over the shoulder of Eric Pitcher, and the Ice Hawks led 2-1. That did not last. Tied 2-2. Aaron Spivak on the power play fires one past poor Anthony Coletta, who was left in for the whole game. Ouch. 3-2 Markham. Then nice puck movement by the Royals. Valco St. Ange to Sean Perichak, and they go up 4-2. It gets much, much worse in the second period. 2:53 in, Liam Odette uses his teammate as a decoy and snaps it past Coletta to make it 5-2. Up 6-3, St. Ange gets it across to Spivak, who converts, and it's 7-3 for the Royals. Third period, close your eyes if you're a Milton fan. Leading 9-4, Markham's Tyson Bruce grabs his second of 3 goals on the day to make it 10-4, and then Bruce earns the Hattie midway through the period off the feed from Trevor Abbott, in it goes. And yeah, it was just a weekend that Milton would like to forget. The Ice Sox got outscored 21-4 in 2 games, so they're licking their wounds right now.
This year, the World Junior A Challenge celebrates 10 years with its first trip to Ontario. Will you be in Coburg and Whitby when the puck drops? From December 13th to 19th, Canada East and Canada West face off with the Czech Republic, Russia, Switzerland, and the United States in the chase for gold. Ticket packages are on sale now, so visit hockeycanada.ca/WJAC today.
And welcome back to the OJ Today. Well, the Stouffville Spirit suffered through a brutal start to the season this year, no question about it. The squad didn't pick up their first win until 11 games in, but since then, they've righted the ship and now sit just 4 points out of the last playoff spot in the Northeast. What's been working for the Spirit lately? We find out now in this week's team report, brought to you by Muscle Milk. Muscle Milk, official sponsor of the OJHL. The Stouffville Spirit were looking to build on a successful 2014-15 campaign this year. Last season saw them make the playoffs for the first time since 2012. Although they were eliminated by eventual playoff finalists Kingston in the first round, the Spirit were happy with their overall effort.
Hadn't made the playoffs in a couple of years, so we were looking, by Christmas time, we were looking to try to get to about 500 and kind of kept going up from there and made playoffs. Sad loss against Kingston, but you know, 2 tough overtime losses, and you know, puck could have gone either way. But I think we ended it off on a pretty good note, making playoffs, and hope to do the same this year.
Yes, the Spirit got off to a brutal start this year. As mentioned, the squad didn't get their first win until 11 games in. But a combination of injuries and rookie jitters played a big part of that. Since then, Stouffville has played over 500 hockey and currently have won 7 of their last 10.
Tough start for sure. Everyone knows our start. We went 0-8 and 0-8-2, I believe, our first 10 games, which is a bad start, but our rookies have bounced back and we've bounced back.
The guys have found a way to win and learned how to win. They've got some confidence. You know, with 13 rookies I think we have in the lineup, it takes them a bit to figure out the league and figure out how to play, and lately we've been doing all right.
Got to be moving their feet, got to be finishing our checks, we got to be physical on those key players, take away their time and space. Lots of shots on net.
Jeff, he's an awesome guy. He always manages to get the boys going. If a little joke here and there, if we're down, just get the boys smiling. And he's always looking forward on the positives. If we're in a slump, he's always looking about making a positive outcome out of it.
The goaltending tandem of Aaron Taylor and Connor McCollum have been solid for the Spirit, providing some massive stops along the way. Nathan Hudgen currently leads the team in scoring.
He brings an intensity. He's got a little bit of a mean streak. He's got great skill. He competes hard. He can finish when he gets the chance. So he's pretty much an all-around player that you know, brings a lot of jam to our team.
Christopher Brill Morgan is right behind Hudgen in scoring and is a menace to the opposition for his physical presence as much as his point totals.
Brill likes to be a character. He's definitely a good role model on the team. A lot of guys look to him for help via school, off ice, anything on the ice. Sometimes we look to him as a leader to lead us through some slumps and, you know, just give us a good little pep talk to get us going if we're a little nervous or in a little negative streak.
Team captain Spencer Roberts is a hometown boy playing for the junior team he watched growing up.
Been on the team a few years. He's a local kid from Stouffville, lives right behind the rink. But the biggest thing he brings is he's the hardest working kid on our team. He's probably the most respected among his teammates. Every day he brings it. That's why he's the captain. The team respects him. They listen to him. Doesn't give the coaches any issues. So, he's a good go-between between the coaching staff and the dressing room, and he's done a good job this year.
Since the horrific start to the season, the Spirit have been making a steady climb up the standings in the brutally tough Northeast Conference. Momentum they hope to keep going right into the playoffs.
Yeah, looking at some big names, Trenton, Kingston, Aurora, Markham. They're all good teams, but we've been in a lot of close games with them. So we know we can compete with them, but we just can't let up any night. We got to bring it every game, and we have to have a strong finish if we want to have a good playoff spot.
Okay, just before we go, a look at the top 5 plays from the OJ over the past week. Number 5, Aurora's Spencer Herbst lowers the boom against Stouffville with the heavy shot from the point, and that proved to be the game winner as Aurora toppled the Spirit 3-1. Number 4, the Raiders turn Coburg inside out. It's Crocker, Jacome, back to Crocker. Tic-tac-toe passing to open the scoring for Georgetown last Saturday. Number 3, Burlington's Jordan Peacock just turns and burns it past Kingston's David Richer. What a shot as the Cougars down the V's 4-2. Number 2, Oakville's Patrick Kudla, second overtime versus the Patriots, dances through the Pats and nets the game winner. Any other week, that would be our number 1 play, but it couldn't top this. Coburg's Tyler Lewis in the dying seconds against Georgetown makes the save of his life to preserve the Cougars' win. Take another look. This one needs to be slowed down to truly be appreciated. That is unquestionably our OJ play of the week. And that's all the time we've got for this week. Remember, though, head to the league website at ojhl.ca for all the up-to-date news, stats, and standings. On Twitter at OJHL Official, and of course at Facebook.com/OJHL Official. Thanks for tuning in, folks. I will see you next week.